We'll wait here a second. Probably somebody else. Here comes the driver. Congratulations, Matt.
I was getting out of your way.
Oh, good. We got the good sign. That doesn't say JD.
Hey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Merry Christmas. And I called us the other day and said, "Hey, you look like Christmas."
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You were right.
Uh-huh.
That's right. It was. It fit right in.
Okay. We're going to roll right into our winning team for tonight's 13th annual Geico 400 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race, the opening race for the 2013 chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Our race winner, our points leader, is Matt Kenseth. He drove the number $20 General Toyota to victory lane for Joe Gibbs Racing, and he's joined up front by his owner, Coach Joe Gibbs, and crew chief Jason Ratcliff. First win for Matt here at Chicagoland Speedway, his 6th win in 2013. This is a single-season career-high number of wins for Matt in the Sprint Cup Series. One other side note, 25 lead changes among 16 different drivers here tonight, and those are both series records here at Chicagoland Speedway. Matt, congratulations. You won the first part of the race. You won the second part of the race, and by golly, you won the whole race. So congratulations on that here tonight. Talk about how you got to victory lane.
Thanks. Yeah, it was awesome. We had a really good car. Obviously, the first 30 laps did not go well, and that was at least 95% my fault. I don't know what I was doing out there, but it didn't go well. And then Jason got 2 on that lap 30, got us some track position so we could get up there with the leaders. And held in there pretty good, got up to, I think, 2nd. And then under green, you know, we got the lead when Jimmy had his problem there and was able to adjust on the car some more and felt really good about what we had when we got the rain delays. Thought we were going to be pretty close. I was worried about the rain and the track conditions in the night times. I thought we were going to be better in a hotter, slick condition, but it just shows I don't know what I'm talking about. But, yeah, had a good car, had great pit stops, great strategy, and had that restart at the end and that push from Kevin. It got us out front at the end when we really needed to be.
And Jason Ratcliff, just talk about getting this opening win in the chase and how the team performed here this evening.
Well, the team obviously performed great. The guys did a great job preparing the car this week. Excuse me. And you know, making adjustments throughout the night. We started on the racetrack. There was some rubber on it, but we had a little bit of rain there earlier today, and then we got that next rain shower, and so the track went through a lot of different stages. The guys did a great job on pit road getting the adjustments that we needed to get the car right, and again, just preparing the car for this weekend. They've done an excellent job all season, and they're doing what they need to do. As a race team, they're bringing fast cars to the racetrack. They're executing during the race, and they'll be back home tomorrow, getting the Loudon car ready bright and early in the morning.
Coach Joe Gibbs, certainly a strong showing here tonight by Joe Gibbs Racing. You take 1-2 in the race and certainly 1-2 in the points right now. But just talk about Matt's win here tonight at Chicagoland.
Well, it was obviously special for us. As everybody here knows, our sports is so dependent upon our sponsors, and Rick and Dollar General, they sponsored the races here this weekend, and we really was thrilled for them. They were here, had everybody here, so that's a big deal for us, Dollar General. Really happy too. Kyle did a great job, and I felt like for Mars, you know, he had a great effort tonight too. Just a great night for us, and it was special. We love coming to Chicago. It's a great, obviously, sporting area. We love that. The fans, obviously, I hate it that we lost a bunch with the rain and everything, but it's a special time for us. And Lord bless us, a great night. Appreciate everybody that sponsors our cars. Obviously, Toyota is a big part of that, and I hated it for Denny tonight and FedEx, but it seems like this year something happens that happens to, you know, Denny. I hate it for him. So, but anyway, for us and everybody back at the shop and everything, we really appreciate it. It was a great night.
And also, Coach really needed this win tonight. I don't know if anybody saw the Packer game.
He's not stopped all day. You know, he's not stopped.
Yeah, we did see that score. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jenna. Jenna's got a question. Jenna and then Lee.
Jenna Fryer, AP. I have two questions, and the first one's for Jason and for Matt. I think that of your 6 wins, 4 of them are on mile-and-a-halfs, and JGR as a whole has 6 of 7 this season. With 4 remaining chase races on mile-and-a-halfs, I mean, should the rest of the field be really, really scared?
We're excited about that. There was, you know, each and every week you come out there's a lot of fast cars, and even tonight, if you could look back at the 48 or the 29 or the 78, just countless cars running in different spots that were, well, if you put them up front, they'd be hard to pass and hard to beat. So, yeah, I think our mile-and-a-half program's been good. I think our program's been pretty solid all the way around. But as you mentioned, I'm glad we've got a few more mile-and-a-half tracks in the chase. We're excited about that, and we feel like we have a pretty good package for that right now.
Can you say anything about that, Matt? Why you're so good on that?
Just fast cars, you know, really. So I think Jason did a good job answering it, but you know, I think you have to be really good everywhere, you know, to be able to win a championship. And I'm really enjoying this win. It's been a record season for me, and obviously I'm the same guy and the same driver, so it's really about, you know, Joe Gibbs Racing, you know, and the people working there, and Jason and the group and everything. You know, and Denny's always been, you know, just thinking about loud, and Denny's always been great there. Kyle's been great there and gives a lot of credit to Denny. So I'm looking forward to getting there and trying to do better, because I feel like I'm the weak link. But I don't really, you know, our speed was a little off at Daytona in July, so maybe I'm a little concerned about going to Talladega, depending on what our speed is like there. But other than that, I really honestly feel good, you know, everywhere we go.
And my second question is for you, Joe. Kind of a tough week for NASCAR. A lot of different things happened off the track. I think some of the words that Brian and Mike used were the integrity needed to be restored and the character had been called into question. Racing and getting back to work can be the best medicine. I'm wondering if you think that today maybe is the fix, and maybe things can go forward from here.
Well, I sure hope so, and I think, you know, getting back on the racetrack is great. Having a great race like tonight kind of hopefully puts that behind us. That was a real tough thing to go through. I don't think anybody wanted that to happen. It did happen, and I think, you know, in pro sports, I've seen things like that on the NFL side. I've seen it on the, you know, over here. We've had, certainly this was something that nobody expected. Sometimes in pro sports that happens. And I think everybody, you know, we tried to do the best we could in handling it. And hopefully we've got this behind us with the race tonight, and we can take out. We all love our sport, and nobody wants to do anything that would hurt or harm it or disappoint people.
Let's go with Lee, and then we'll go with Bob, and then Stan.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Matt, you talked a little bit about thinking you might have engine issues during the course of the race. What do you think you were feeling?
Nothing. I was just seeing if anybody was listening.
I was. I had the slight coronary on that one. Just so I tell you.
No, we just took off on one restart, and honestly, from the time we got here, I was really happy with my car and really excited about my engine. I think TRD did a great job of giving us what we needed to win, obviously, and qualified good to be up front. And I just had that one restart where I was beside Greg, and I kept felt like I was getting a good run and was going to clear him, and he'd keep kind of driving past me. But honestly, I think it was just the spot I was in, and it was on a restart, and I think we did a couple things to help that out a little bit. So, you know, as soon as he got back in front of me, it was fine again. So it was probably just the driver's imagination.
Let's go with Bob, and then we'll go with Stan.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Jason, this is your first chase. How important was it maybe get a win or just have a good run? Not that I think you lack confidence, but just kind of maybe.
Thanks, Bob.
Well, I mean, you've won 5 times this year.
You're saying your
but
No.
I mean,
Just kidding.
Is that what he meant?
No.
I'm sorry. Go
was
ahead.
it important? Do you think for you to, with you never having been through the chase before, to get a win right out of the box?
Obviously, yes, it was. You know, we've had a pretty solid season, so it would be, and it's important for us to go into the chase with the season we've had and perform well. You know, and I feel like we have the opportunity to do that and to come into Chicago. Like I said, I felt like our team was very well prepared, and our car was well prepared, from front to back, and to come out here again and execute the way we did. It makes me proud of the guys that I work with, proud of the race team, proud of the guys at JGR, and we know if we can put good Toyotas on the racetrack each and every week, Matt's going to go out there and get the job done for us. So one down, we got 9 to go. We got a lot of tough competition around us, so we just got to keep doing what we've been doing.
Let's go over here to Stan, and then we'll go to Jeff Gluck, and then to David Caravello.
Hi, Coach, over this way to your left.
Yeah.
There you go. Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. Could you compare what this whole win means to you in comparison to a first win when you're in the playoff season at the NFL?
Mm-hmm. I think the best way to describe it, it feels the same. You're so nervous. Obviously, my role in the NFL was different because I kind of grew up in that, and I had some expertise. These guys, they don't pay attention to anything I say. So my job is just all they want is money. Yeah, hey, kids, yeah. So that's me and JD run all over the place trying to give them enough money. I always leave the meetings saying I'm going to go out trying to earn some money, and you guys can throw it away. So, but now really, I think my wife probably said it best when you talk about those wins and comparing them to championships in both. She said it's like having babies. They're all great. And that's the way you feel about it. I love this sport, and I think one of the things I love about this sport is our sponsors. That's a whole different relationship that you have. To see people, be willing to spend a lot of resources with you, and then to see them get the benefit of it, I think is really thrilling for me. But I think, the comparison's so similar. And of course, I love the fact here that it's our family. I get to work in it. I get to work with JD and Coy, and I love that part of it. So that's special for me too. So.
Let's go to Jeff Gluck, and then to David Caravello, and then to Dave Coleman. Go ahead.
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. Jason, when you saw all the engine problems out there that other people were having, were you concerned at all? And was there anything that could have been done differently as far as the way that the race was started with the generators? I mean, was there not enough time to heat up the engines, or was it just a product of the atmosphere? Or
Well, yeah, as you mentioned, it's extremely hard on when you get hot and you get out there, and I don't get hot. They get hot and you get out there and they're you're racing and you're turning them 9,500 plus RPMs, and then you go through a rain delay and they sit there and everything cools off, and you get a lot of expansion, heating and shrinking going on as hot and cold. So if you don't heat the oil back up before you start them, it can be tough on them. So you try to do the best you can, considering the circumstances. But we saw a lot of different guys have problems. So I think that's the start of it. The second part of it, there's so much grip in the racetrack. I mean, even before that rain delay, even before it cooled off another 5 or 6 degrees, I mean, these guys are out there running just crazy lap times. A lot of sustained RPMs at the end of the straightaway, which is tough. And you're going to go out there and run, 400 miles and do that lap after lap. Something's going to give. And like you said, I think there was a lot of worried crew chiefs on pit road. I know I was. The further we went, the more problems you saw with all different manufacturers. So I'm not going to say I had my fingers crossed, but it was scary for sure.
would it have made a difference if you were allowed to plug in and change the settings?
I think the thing that would have made the most difference would have been if we would have had an opportunity to change the gear. I think the RPMs in the end was probably the culprit. Yeah. Don't you think, Matt?
I thought everything was perfect.
Yeah.
I was happy with it.
Let's go to David Caravello, and then looks like Dave Coleman, and then Nate Ryan.
David Caravello, NASCAR.com. This was for Joe, but I wouldn't mind hearing Matt's thoughts on it as well. GGR is an organization that hasn't always gotten off to the best of starts in these things. I mean, 1-2 in the opener. Do you see that as some kind of a statement? Is it too early for that, or just how do you feel about the overall strength right now?
Yeah, I think we got great news. We won the race tonight, and we were 1-2 there. But the reality is tomorrow morning it starts all over again. We're going to be worried. We got 9 races. You see those competitors out there, and you could see where Jason mentioned it. It could have been almost, the top 6, 7, 8 could have been up there and got out front, and it would have been a different story. So I think this is going to be very, very competitive. But you make a good point too, getting off to a good start. We've struggled some doing that, and I thought it was a great feeling tonight to get off to a good start with both of our cars there. And like I said, we hate that it seems like everything happens to Denny this year and FedEx, but I thought that's a big deal for us. And it's a good start, but the reality is tomorrow morning it's 9 more to go.
Let's go to Dave Coleman and then to, Nate Ryan.
Dave Coleman, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Matt, how confident were you on that last restart, and what did you think your chances were if you hadn't had that opportunity to restart?
Well, I mean, we'll never know exactly what would happen. I felt the previous run we were really spectacular at the end of that long run. We started that run too loose, and we were just really, really fast at the end of that run and ran everybody down. And then slowed up a little bit. I was the car got a little tight and slowed up just a little bit before we pitted under green when we caught Kyle there and we were running second. So I don't know. We were a little too tight that run. I don't know if we could have got by him or not. I thought our cars were very equal in speed, and being out front is always an advantage. So, I kind of felt like on even ground he was more than likely going to beat us unless I could have the car right where I needed it to be to get the runs that I was looking for. And I'm not sure if that's where he was going to be or not. So it's hard to predict, but certainly being in front in that last restart was a big key and definitely made it a lot easier.
Let's go over here to Nate Ryan.
When you got it, you felt like you had a good chance?
Yeah, I felt good about my car since we got here, honestly. I felt really good about it. I thought we had really interesting practices. We got it where it was pretty far off at times, and we got it where it drove really, really good at times. I thought it was really, really, really productive. We learned a lot of things, and we found a lot of things that really affected the balance, and I don't have any idea what setup we even raced today. So Jason does a really great job of putting all those pieces together and looking at comments and looking what the engineers and what everybody else says and he thinks and getting that stuff together. So I felt like we had a good practice and found a lot of things, and he was going to put all the pieces of the puzzle together, and we'd be pretty good today. So I felt pretty good about it.
Let's come over here to Nate, and then we'll go to Reed.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. I have 2 questions, one for Matt, one for Jason, both about the new rules. The restart procedures, I'll start with you, Matt. Yeah, you had some questions, I think, in the drivers' meeting about how it would work in terms of guys hanging back in the latter rows. Did it go better than you expected? Did you like the new procedures? Or?
I think that sometimes you have things that are so simple like that you never really think of. So I think that once they said it and you walked away from there, and at least for me, and I thought about it for an hour or so, I was like, why didn't we do that a long time ago? So from the restart box to start finish line, there's a lot of racetrack and there's a lot of things that can happen. So I think as long as they police the leader moves first, gets on the gas in the box to go, as long as he does that first and he's ahead of the second place car, then I think it's a great idea to race to the line, because you saw all kinds of different situations this year where the leader took off first, but then he spun the tires real bad, and the second car started beating him, and then that second car would have to let off the gas to not beat him, and then he'd get 3 wide, and a lot of times that second place guy, if he was on the inside, he'd come out of, I don't know what happened to us once somewhere, I don't remember where it was, but you'd come out the other end of turn 2 in 6th place. So I think that's a good call, and it actually makes a lot of sense, and it'll take away a lot of NASCAR having to decide, well, is that too much, or did he give it back, didn't he? It's easy as long as that guy moved first. Whatever happens from there, as long as you stay in your lane like it used to be, then it's a good restart.
So all the ones tonight went pretty well then?
I thought so. All the ones I was involved in are close enough to the front to see it. I thought we're all about the same as what we had. I saw that one start, the 18, got Jimmy in line, but Jimmy definitely rolled better. Kyle just didn't spin the tires as much. So I think it makes a lot of sense, and it won't back up the field so bad, and there probably won't be as much of the laying back and going out because everybody's just going, and you don't have to slow back up in line worrying about getting a penalty.
And then, Jason, for you, not being able to communicate with the spotter on the digital radio, is that any huge impact for you tonight? Or?
That's not something that we relied on a lot. I mean, we would have that communication, just to kind of give our spotter a heads up of what's going on. But it's not like we had to have that. We do a pretty good job of communicating with Matt on our analog radio, so it didn't affect us. I mean, I could tell that we didn't have it. But I don't think our normal way of doing things and procedures that we have didn't affect us at all.
We're here to Reed.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire Service. Matt, this is the third year this has been the first race in the chase. Each of the previous 2 years, the winner of this race has gone on to win the championship. Do you believe in omens?
Not really. not really. I mean, I'd rather have you tell me that than whoever won this finishes dead last. But I don't think it. It matters. I mean, every single point. Depending on how far you want to go back about the bonus points, but every point, every position is equally as important from here all the way until the last lap at Homestead. So you want to get as many points as you can get each and every week, and we did a great job of that this weekend. So you want to enjoy this and then go to work on New Hampshire tomorrow and try to go there and get as many points as we can, and just kind of take it 1 week at a time.
Any additional questions? Jim Utter over here to the left. Right there in front of you there. Thanks, Zach.
Jim Uttershaw, Observer for Matt. Jenna asked Joe earlier, I was just wondering, as someone who was not really involved in any of the controversy over the past week, what was it like to kind of view it from sort of afar? What were your thoughts this week? I know you made a few comments about it being a tough week, and as someone who may end up representing, you already have once as the champion, I mean, what was your take on what took place?
Well, for me, I wasn't involved in any of it, so I kind of enjoyed that. It seemed like I was kind of, we came in as the first seed, which was really great, but we were kind of in the shadows all week with everything else going on. So I was all right with that. We got to, we had a lot of space to work on our cars and talk about things and go do all that. So I don't know about the rest of it. I think it's been talked about so much all week, and I think the important thing is that it's behind us. Hopefully, there's a lot of. I think everybody's clear, pretty clear on, what everybody expects and the things that we should do and not do, although a lot of it I think is pretty obvious anyway. So anyway, glad it's behind us. Hope we can move on, because I think it's been a tough week for not only some of the teams and stuff involved, but it's also a really tough week for NASCAR. I mean, they don't want to do any of that stuff. At least I wouldn't think they would. So I don't think it's been, that part I don't think has been any fun for anybody.
Any further questions? Well, Matt, Jason, and Coach Gibbs and the entire Joe Gibbs Racing team, congratulations on this win here tonight, and we'll see you at New Hampshire.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.